How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it's going to be on Sisu. Now, this is a 2023 historical action thriller, and this film comes to us from the director of Big Game. And in this film, we follow an ex-soldier who discovers gold in the Lapland wilderness, and he decides to try and take that loot into the city. But we see these German officers that are being led by a brutal SS officer. They decide to battle him. So that's pretty much the story of Sisu. Now, this one did look really interesting when I first saw the trailers for this one, since this was a new action movie from the exact same studio who made the John Wick series. And as you all know, I'm a massive fan of the John Wick series myself. So I was really intrigued to see what the studio were going to be doing with this new different type of action movie, in which this one is set during in a historical event that tends to have a lot of brutal and violent action sequences. And I did check out this movie a couple days after it came out, in which it came out the same day as the live-action remake of The Little Mermaid, in which I saw that movie first. And so I saw this movie just a few days after it came out the same day as that movie. And so after seeing this whole movie, yeah, it is safe to say that I generally had a really great time here with Sisu. This movie was indeed a bloody awesome action flick. The action sequences here in this movie were generally a lot of fun, from the amount of brutality and gore that they do have to themselves when we do see the main lead killing off these German soldiers in so many different ways, which they were generally a lot of fun, even though they aren't that logical when it came to the action in the film. But they were well directed by the director of this film, whom I thought he did a really good job making this film when it came to the action, as well as for the moments outside of the action sequences, like the environment that we see in the film, which I thought were generally gorgeous in terms of like the grassy areas and other areas that we do see within the movie. And its overall storytelling, I thought, was pretty unique in terms of its concept, where it's basically set during it's an action movie that's set during in a historical event, in which, in this case, this is set during the final days of World War II in Finland. And the film is played so straightforward, like, for its overall pacing, because the pacing is so smooth here, from its overall runtime for being an hour and 31 minutes long. And I felt the film just flew by straight away once the film just started. Even though there are times where the film does have does break into a few chapters, and I kind of felt it was unnecessary, because the film, like I said, isn't even all that long, because it's an hour and 31 minutes long. And when it comes to the characters themselves, the one you're going to find yourself really remotely rooting for is the main lead, who's trying to get his gold back from these German soldiers. And when it comes to these German soldiers in the film, they don't have a whole lot of developments to them, and the way they're played off in the film is just pretty much just generic. And there are often times when the film does cut back and forth to these hostages in the film, and they don't have a whole lot of developments to them either. And I didn't find myself really rooting for them that much, because I was only finding myself really rooting for the main lead, who's desperately trying to get his gold back from these German soldiers. But in the end, guys, Sisu, I definitely had a really great time with this action flick. Although certainly nowhere near on the same level as the John Wick movies, but this still was a really fun popcorn treat. And it's definitely one I would recommend if you're a fan of like these types of action movies since the John Wick franchise here. I'm going to give Sisu 4 out of 5. Definitely a great popcorn treat. I would recommend in the slightest if you're a fan of like these types of action movies since the John Wick franchise here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my AK After I Saw review on Sisu, and I'd like to know what you guys think of this movie, if you've already seen this movie, or if you just recently checked this one out. And as always, this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.